My hometown was first settled in 1790s by New England Puritans. It is located in the southern tip of the Adirondack Park and became an official village in 1853, known as Stump City. Some of its original veterans from the Revolutionary War and War of 1812 can be found in the Kingsborough Cemetery. Just down the road, the original Kingsborough School was built for its first citizens. However, in 1890 it was renamed Gloversville after the booming glove industry. The glove industry peaked in 1870 with the construction of the Fonda, Johnstown, and Gloversville Railroad. Gloversville soon called itself Glove Capital of the World. Local factories adopted the slogans, "Gloversville gloves America," and later, "Gloversville gloves the world." This was because from 1850 to 1950, most American leather and all American gloves were made here. That's 100 years. A prosperous glove manufacturer by the name of A.J. Kassan built the Cass and Opera House in 1880, and it stood as the town's pride and entertainment venue for 50 years. Many famous performers appeared on its stage, like John Philip Sousa, composer of the famous marching song Stars and Stripes Forever. Not only did it host America's famous marching composer, but future United States President Franklin D. Roosevelt, where he spoke to nearly 7,000 people. Directly to its left, the Glove Theater was built in 1904. It was constructed to host many arts such as opera, vaudeville, and orchestra concerts. The Glove later hosted motion pictures, and in 1930 became one of the first theaters in the nation to be equipped with sound. Gloversville is also well known for its famous citizens. Lucius Latour, who was a congressman and a generous philanthropist, had the city's first hospital built. He also funded the Art Deco Jewish Community Center. Samuel Gelbfish came to Gloversville as an immigrant and worked many years in the glove shops. He applied for citizenship and would later move west to become Samuel Goldwyn, one of the founders of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, or also known as MGM, a famous movie company that is nationally recognized and even has its own park at Disney. In front of the old SC Middle School located on Main Street, you can find a bronze statue of Latour himself. Due to global competition and pollution of the Cayudutta Creek, the industry that once exploded did exactly that, but this time just burned out. The Daniel Hayes Company glove factory that once had a huge workforce closed its doors. Today, the rundown vacant building still stands as a symbol that Gloversville once was glove center of the world. The beautiful Gothic designed passenger station for the FJ&G unfortunately burned down in 1969. The original site is now a park and dedicated to those that contributed to the great company that allowed Gloversville to once rise to the top. The original tracks have since been paved and made into a bicycle walking trail known by the local community as the Rail Trail. The trail heads south to Johnstown and north to Mayfield. Just south, the old Fulton County Coal Company that once supplied many jobs has since went out of business and has been torn down. The Cass and Opera House still stands today, although it no longer hosts the extravagant shows and events it once did. It closed in the 1960s and is instead several shops and local businesses in downtown Gloversville. One shop, owned by Daniel Storto, still in 2009 makes and sells his own handmade gloves. Mr. Storto has designed and made custom gloves for Diana Keaton, Meryl Streep, and Madonna, who was actually wearing his gloves when she kissed Britney Spears on MTV in 2003. The Glove Theater is slowly being restored to its prime state and still, to this day, hosts local plays and talent shows on its stage. I never did get to attend the old SD Middle School because of the construction of the new Gloversville Middle School. Thankfully, the building is being restored and turned into apartments, and still standing on its grounds is the Latour statue. The original Nathan Latour Hospital was obsolete by the 1960s. A new hospital was built and dedicated in 1968. The Victorian building was demolished in the early 1970s to make way for an athletic field behind the SD complex. Much like the hospital, new buildings take old names in Gloversville. The original Kingsborough School is still there but is now a historical museum. There is a new Kingsborough School, even though it is no longer located on Kingsborough Ave. Although today Gloversville no longer has its booming glove industry and fancy shows, it still managed to survive industrial abandonment and holds pieces of its rich history within it.